Grainmaker. Welcome, everyone, to the Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, a Prairie Proud wrestling podcast covering everything from Winnipeg to worldwide. My name is Blair Pacheco. I hope you're doing well, having a great day, evening, weekend, whenever it is you're sitting down to listen to this. Now, I think I've spoken for a while now, about independent wrestling. You always hear about the next generations coming up through the systems, whether it's way out west in BC, whether it's here in Manitoba, and it's very noticeable out in Alberta as well. And I know my guests, we've spoken about it a little bit, the next generations rising up through the ranks. And they're here to talk, about wrestling, talk about themselves, and they're the start of their career because they've just finished their first full year. So I'm hoping to talk a little bit about that and so much more. As joining me here on the Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast is Jaxx Wylder. Jaxx, how you doing, man?
I'm very excited to be here. Yeah, as you said, first year is finally in the books, and looking forward to many, many more where that's coming from.
Well, I saw the post, you just finished your first year. How are you feeling a year into it? I know back in January, we had talked a little bit for an LPW show episode, we spoke a little bit, but, you finished that year. How are you feeling? How is Jaxx Wylder, how's it all sitting with him?
Man, time has become so fast with it because it truly does not feel like a year of wrestling has gone by, but then you do sit down and think about it. It's like, well, you've done this, and it's like, wow, that's a full year of like just flying by match after match after match, and it's been like a dream to do it. I've wanted to do this my whole life, so being able to say like, yeah, I've done this for a whole year and there's going to be like so many more after this is just completely mind-blowing.
I mean, back in 2025, when you're having your first match, and we'll talk about that later, but when you have that first match, were you ever thinking that like, fuck, like a year from now, we're going to see how much I've leveled up, we're going to see what's next? I mean, because there are people who step foot in there and they do it a little bit, they peace out, it's just not for them. But how does that kind of like sit with you, like for yourself, like knowing that a year ago, like you were bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, getting ready to step foot in there, and now you're a year vet in there, you're going to be challenging Jared Rogers soon for that wily veteran.
Oh man, yeah, he's got to hold on to that tight. I'm coming for that. But I know my mindset in that first match was like serious. I was not thinking about a year. I was like, let's get through this. Let's do this, and like let's get to the end of this. But I look at that mindset now and look at it where I'm at. It's like two completely different people in a way, where now I'm thinking about how I can involve as much of the crowd as I can, how I can do what I do to like the best of my ability at a peak level every single wrestling match that I have. The shakes are gone. I got like really bad shakes in my first like couple matches. Like I couldn't get them out, and that was like always like I watched those back and I'm like, that's rough. But it's the nerves that got him, and now like I feel I'm at a point where those don't really hit anymore. And it is just rep after rep of doing it. And, the more that I am doing it, the more I'm getting confident, the more I'm getting comfortable. And that's like the big change I see is I'm so much more comfortable now doing this than I was in my first match.
I think almost, after you get into it, once you get into the swing of things, then, some of the stuff you were maybe worrying about before that maybe you put extra focus on with the nerves and stuff, like maybe you realize that like, you're worrying about stuff you didn't need to,
like 100%.
Yeah. But like, it just takes like that repetitiveness and knowing that like, yeah, the shit I'm thinking about right now, that's stressing me out. Like that is irrelevant at this point, it happens.
100% true. Oh man. Like, I was like, oh my God, like do I look the part? Am I doing the right movements here? And it's like, don't think about that, man. Just like have fun. It's just fun and enjoy it. Play into it, play the character. And like that was like the main thing about like the biggest struggle was finding Jaxx Wylder, honestly. You know, he is an amped up version of myself where I'm very, very much low vibes, and he's at like a 10 constantly. But once I get into that swing of things, like I don't think about that stuff ever anymore. Like it's just like, oh yeah, I'm here. This is the second it's through the curtain, it's like I'm on, just like that, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I always ask what, you know, people's first wrestling memory was, but what was it that kind of got you interested as a fan?
You know, I hate that I got into it at the time that I did, because I had to go through years of watching him. But my first wrestling memory was my dad threw on, I think it was the SmackDown where Edge retired. His retirement speech, and kind of just seeing like the mass amount of the crowd and the in the middle of the ring, the commentators saying so, like I was just like, what is this? This is so interesting to me. And I watched that whole show, and that is kind of what like hooked me into it. Was Edge was like just who hooked me into it, just how he spoke, how he talked, how he was like so and the emotion that, I mean, the real emotion, obviously, of retiring at the time for him, but like just everything that he was saying, like just like hooked me in instantly. And so I had to ask my dad, I'm like, who is this guy? What are we watching? What is this? I need to know about this. And I would have been like 8 or 9 at the time. So yeah, getting into all of that was like super, like just my like eyes were blown wide. I like couldn't stop watching wrestling for till now. Like still, I can't stop putting it down.
Yeah, I mean, as a kid, it's this larger than life thing on TV.
Oh yeah,
you know? It's like the equivalent of like an action movie for like adults, you know, because you're getting like these big imposing figures, and they're out there fighting and doing whatever it takes to be victorious. And it's like, as a kid, you're like, these are real life superheroes to you.
Oh, 1000%. I mean, like, I obviously at the time you see John Cena and you're like, holy man, like this is like somebody that's just out of this world, like superhero, like physique wise, character wise, all the like bright colors, you know, everything that was going on with that. And like, oh man, you had Randy Orton at like a big peak there, and like just scary at the time as a kid, like, you know, like shaved bald head Randy, like that was horrifying. Yeah, and they're like these larger than life people, like you've never seen anything like them, and you're just like, what is this? Like I need more. I need more, honestly.
Well, I mean, you kind of have that with your dad. Were you guys going to check out local shows at the time? Was that something that was on your radar?
Yeah, we were at a bunch, like maybe a couple years later, so like I don't know, like 12 or 13, we started going to the PWA shows. And that's kind of what like I got to sink my teeth in, like very tangibly. That wasn't on a screen, because I hadn't been to a WWE show at that point either. Like we just had gone to the PWA shows, and that was just like seeing that like so close to you was like on a whole different level. Where they like all the fan interaction that they had too was just like WWE definitely had it, but I think being like a local show and being a lot more intimate, like there was so much more of that, you know, and that was like so cool to me, that these wrestlers are like looking at me and like high-fiving me. It's mind blowing to me, you know. And that's kind of where I was like, yeah, this is gonna be kind of what the life is like.
Well, as a kid, you're watching, you know, WWE or whatever is on TV, and you go to these local shows, and like you don't know any different, but like you like wrestling is wrestling. So like the fact that you're seeing something like in your backyard, you think it's just as cool as what you're seeing on TV. Like it's almost like they're equals, you know. There's no independent, no majors. It's just wrestling for the love of it.
And that's like kind of what was so cool about like being a kid into wrestling is there wasn't that difference. There wasn't like, oh, I would have assumed these guys were probably from WWE, you know, like are like they're at the top level, and they are, you know. That's the cool thing about it too, is like once you're grown up, like, you know, you look at independent wrestling now compared to WWE wrestling, and everybody is at like a 10 at a top level, putting everything on the line every show. And I think that's so cool, because like there are certain sports where you go like 0.5% or like whatever, like you don't like put it all out there. But I find like wrestling, at least from what I've seen and like my exposure to all of it, it is like everybody is performing at the peak level like every single time, and that is like, you don't get that in a lot of other places.
So, I mean, you're going to these shows, you're a fan. At what point do you kind of sit down and tell yourself, like, okay, well, this is something I want to do. I want to get involved with it, because I know, like, I've talked to people before, like some of them, they were like, oh, we're going to start backyard federations. You know, some people have done that. And then, you know, some people like training in a dude's backyard because like, hey, that was all that was available. So like, where does it kind of where does it fall for you that you were like, okay, I want to get involved, I want to become a wrestler?
So it definitely started, I don't know, when I was like 14. I had seen, that was like my first exposure to like wrestling schools exist. And I was like, oh, you can do this. That's kind of crazy. I thought, like, at the time it was like, oh yeah, people are just like good enough that they do this, and they're like super strong, big athletes. They just get in there. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, I'd seen like the first school or whatever, and I was like, oh, like they teach this. This is crazy. I gotta get involved. And I didn't know that, like, being 14, I couldn't really necessarily get involved yet. So that was kind of what kind of clicked for me that young, is, and it's been that way ever since, is like, I need to find out how to wrestle, and it needs to happen, or else I will not be happy for the rest of my life. Like, I need to do this. I'm such a one-track minded person with goals, where it is wrestling and it's nothing else, you know?
No, and I mean that it's almost like especially when you're younger, you know, like you get so like focused on what you want to do and what you want to become, and like, so like to have that drive and determination, you know, like you fucking ears back and you just head for that goal, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
So I mean, okay, so you find out that there's a school. Now at what point are you like, okay, I'm going to go check it out, I'm going to apply to get in there? Where did you go? Like all those sort of little things.
So the first school I saw was Lance Storm's, when he had that open in Calgary, and I would have been about 16 at the time. But obviously I was like, no, I'm not going to drop high school and like go over to Calgary and just do that. So I can't remember what it was called, but I know Michael had a like summer mini camp when I was in high school that I did over on the north side or somewhere. So that was like my first exposure to actually like doing the training, like learning how to bump, learning how to roll, learning how to run the ropes, all that kind of stuff. And it was kind of like earth-shattering to me, because like, I don't know, maybe after the first 45 minutes of warm-ups, I was doubled over, like puking my guts out in a trash can. I was like, wow, this is intense. This is rough. But I even knew from that, I was like, yeah, no, this is it. Like, I don't care how hard it is, and I don't care how much like I'm gonna be doubled over puking into a garbage can.
How old were you at the time?
Would have been 16.
Okay.
That was because I got to be able to be part of it, because I knew my cousin Reed, obviously, and he was helping out with that and got me into that. So that was like my first like real, okay, we're not going to treat you like a 16-year-old, like you're going to be thrown into this. And I was like, awesome, let's do it. And I was like, wow, that sucks. That hurts. Everything sucks.
Well, I mean, think of how many people they take part in that, and they peace out right after. Like, oh yeah, this isn't for me. I mean, I'm sure you've even seen it where like people come into there and want to train, and after the first hour or so, they just realize that, you know what, it's not my jam.
Yeah, no, I've seen it, you know, I've heard about it, and like it's and a lot of I find like there's two trains of thought about it. There's like, yeah, like it's you know, it's too hard and too tough. And then there's also like, well, you just don't want it enough,
Mhm.
you know. And I think that's a big separation, is like there are a lot of cases where it's like understandable, like it's difficult, it is hard, you are gassed in like the first 30 minutes of doing like the basics, really, you know.
Yeah.
um but it's to a point where like even if it's hard, even if you're like sucking wind, you know, like all this kind of stuff, you if you want it more like bad enough, you're gonna suck it up and you're gonna get through it, you know.
Yeah, I think some people like the idea of it,
Hmm.
and then when you just see how much work gets put into it, like, uh, I have no, make no bones about it. I see what people go through with training, and I know that that is not something I can do. I don't even want to try to embarrass myself in it. Like, I'm okay, I'm good. That's not
Yeah.
me. But like, if you're going into that school and you're training and you're doing that stuff, I have so much respect for you, because like you're putting in the work.
Yeah, and it's like, especially on these really hot days where it's like plus 30 and you're just pouring sweat, man. Oh my God. There's like no place else I would rather not be. Uh, but you know, you just do it, and it's for the love of it, right? I think the love is the big part of it. It's you love it so much, you idolize the idea of wrestling so much, and again, you want it most enough that it all just becomes an afterthought after a little bit, you know.
So you're 16, you're doing like the sort of like the, summer camp type one. That's what it was.
Yeah.
When did you kind of go full time into training?
It would have been when I was 22 was
Okay.
the time I went full bore into training. And this would have been in September of 2024 was my first month.
Okay.
And that was with Clandestine.
Mhm.
And I've been with Clandestine since, because they're top notch. And yeah, so 2022, I think again I had Reed tell me that there is actually a school in Edmonton, and I was like, oh, what? So I was like, oh yeah, like we're doing this. This is finally happening. And I think roll around October, I had to take 2 months off in November and December, because I got stricken with the Black Plague, is like the best way I can describe it.
Okay.
So it got cut like so fast. I was like so ready, and then I was just sick as a dog for a
Mhm.
month and a half straight, and I was like, this is miserable. I'm miserable. So I kind of look at it like January to then my debut that in 2025 was like, that's my big training course right
Yeah.
there, because then I like stuck it out. I rarely missed a day. I was there 3-4 times a week in the gym on the other off days, you know, just really bunkering down and doing all that I can with that.
So, I mean, when you're there, what kind of stuff were you doing in the trainings there, especially starting off, just so people
Yeah,
have an
so
idea of that?
starting off, they like getting to learn how to roll properly. Running the ropes was a big one. A lot of it was like quick little running blow up spots to, like, you know, that's this, you're gonna be your gas tank.
Mhm.
Learning to bump obviously was a big one. And that was about like the first 2-ish months, and then like learning some very simple moves, like learning how to suplex somebody safely, learning how to go up for a body slam, then you give a body slam. And those were and chain wrestling, that was another big one. And those were kind of like the basics that they eased me into to start off with. And man, it was like, I remember getting so frustrated because, you know, I'm that one track minded person. I'm like, oh, in theory, this sounds easy. And then you don't get, and you're like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you make it look so easy and I'm not getting it. And it's just like, what is happening? And I used to get like so upset until I kind of just flipped the mindset of like, you have been doing this for what, 3 months? Like, shut the hell up. brain. Like it's fine if you don't get it. You're learning, and it's totally cool, you know. But yeah, like the first like 3 to 4 months is just like, you know, getting comfortable, getting familiar, learning how to take moves safely, learning how to bump safely, learning how to give them safely, and then checking your gas tank. And man, it was checked. It was rough.
No, I mean, I bet. So, I mean, you do the training, you're part of the team at like, because I know you mentioned going to the PWA shows, and I know there's a lot of members of the Alberta wrestling community who are a part of, you know, those PWA shows. I mean, so did it ever kind of like, were you ever sitting there where you're just like, I used to watch you wrestle. Now you're
I still get that. I still like well, you know, if I go work in Saskatchewan and, you know, there's a PWA, I'm like, whoa, I was like this tall and like wide-eyed, and now you're like in my same locker room. This is mind-blowing to me. I get that still. Like even though I've, you know, the PWA people who are in LPW, I still like, I'm there, I'm like, man, this is so weird. Like I cannot even put into words how bizarre it is to see, you know, like obviously like Michael, Sheik, B-Rat, Zoe, all those people. I was like, wow, this is so cool. It's cool to me. Like I still like, you know, mark out like a little bit. I'm like, oh, this is wild to me.
I think at the point where if you were to stop, that's when, you know, you're kind of like, you know, you lose that like wholesomeness, you know. You know,
exactly.
That sort of love where it was like, yeah, this was something that like, you know, like, yeah, I watched you wrestle when I was a kid, so of course it's kind of cool to me.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that still doesn't go away. And I love that though, because that is like, it is my deep passion and my deep love for wrestling, for Alberta wrestling, especially like still being able to, I bought a bunch of like the PWA DVDs when I went to those shows, and like I still watch those quite frequently. And like, man, like some of these people like I know now on a like level, and some of these people like have made it to like bigger and better things, and that's so cool. Yeah, it's just it's such like a love and a neat thing to just have that like I watched you when I was a kid. I know you.
I mean, you mentioned the DVDs, and I need to say that like I think that is something that like I love when like independent promotions will put out a DVD.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Even like as wrestlers, like I think like it could go a long way for like somebody to like make their own like best of DVD and sell that at the merch table. Obviously, like financially, you'd have to make sure it works, but like,
oh yeah, for sure.
Tell me that like, you know, a guy just films everything himself, puts, you know, the 10 matches on a DVD, sells it like that. That's cool having that physical media. Like I miss that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. It was such a neat thing that like very few and far between promotions do now, you know. But that was like one of my big draws with PWA is they like, oh, if I missed like, I don't know, a couple months because I was like busy with school or vacation or whatever, it's like, oh, here it all is. Now I feel like I'm not missed a single thing. And then, yeah, the best of DVDs, like, oh, PWA when I wasn't alive, you know, like this is some of the matches I've never seen or I've never even heard of. And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. Like this has been around for longer than I've been around. And like, there's so much history here, you know? So I wish that, you know, those best of DVDs were still around, but I also like understand like with, you know, like YouTube and streaming, like it's hard to, I guess, make a market for that nowadays. But like people like me, if I saw a DVD on a table like at an independent show now, like I'm buying that, man. Like that's so cool.
And like I still go to like used DVD stores to look for wrestling DVDs.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like I went to one place and it was like buy 2 get 1 free, and I found like 3 PWG DVDs. So
like, come on now, that's sick.
Perfect. 3 DVDs for $10. You can't go wrong. I went to
cannot go wrong.
Yeah, I went to a bookstore and they had DVDs there, and I found like a Roddy Piper RF Video Shoot DVD. So it's like, oh yes, I'll buy this for $5. Like this is cool, you know.
You're not twisting my arm.
Yeah, at some point, like a lot of the physical media is going to be gone. Like, it's just how it is, like, you know, especially something as niche as that.
Oh, for sure.
So you really have to like preserve it and like, you know, like hold on to that stuff.
Yeah. And like, you know, I praise Big Bad Boris for this, like him being able to digitize so much of the PWA stuff. If the physical media is ever lost, like it's never lost, you know. And I think I need to start doing that with like a bunch of my DVDs too, because like, man, I got like old like 2000s Ring of Honor CDs just like kicking around with some crazy matches on them, you know, and like all my PWA stuff, you know. Losing that would be like so upsetting. So like, yeah, it's also good, unfortunately not good, that we're in an age where we can just put that on like a USB stick and call it a day, you know.
Yeah. No, I have an external hard drive where I'll download matches, I'll put it on there, you know, just to have, because if something happens and YouTube gets wiped clear and you're like, well, where's all the stuff I used to watch? You know, at least I still have it. So
exactly. Yeah. 100%.
We had talked a little bit about your first match. So, I mean, you go through the training, you get told like, hey, Jaxx, you're going to have your match. How are you feeling heading into that match? And who was it with? Let's talk about that match.
Yeah. So I think the coolest part about my first match, and learning who it was with, is again, my cousin, Reed Matthews, the Thickness. That is, I think, forever going to hold the most beyond special place in my heart, because he was the one who, you know, got me out to those PWA shows in the first place, seeing his first match when I was like, I don't know, 10 or 11, and having my first match with him. I was nervous, you know, like I said, I had like the shakes, but I was the giddiest person on the inside that I get to have my first match, my first like taste of anything with my cousin. You know, and I think that there isn't anything more special than doing something with family in that way, you know. And so that, like, it's even like now I find it hard to put into words how meaningful that genuinely was to me. And it's going to be, I'm hard pressed to find something that's going to be as meaningful as that. And I'm sure, you know, things will come close, things will come near, but yeah, having that shared experience with him was just so special and so cool. And I'm still, even looking back on it, you know, a lot of people like cringe on their old matches and stuff. I'm like, man, I was white. But I look at that and I'm like, man, I'm so proud of that. I'm genuinely so proud of that first match with him. And so, yeah, that's all the warm fuzzies are associated with that, you know.
Did you ever get the chance to team with Reed at all yet?
Yes. When I had my first tag match with the Mad Lads, me and Goose were supposed to tag together. They took out Goose at the start of the match, and then halfway through the match, Reed came out and was my tag partner. And that again was like, just like, oh, it's so hard not to like crack the biggest smile ever. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Well, it's nice that you have that and you can share it with like family, you know, because like a lot of times, you know, you don't really get that sort of thing in wrestling. It's just not something that happens too often, where it's, you know, family relations, that dynamic, it just doesn't happen. Nothing, you know, not that it's, you know, a bad thing. It's just, it rarely happens.
Rarely. So, yeah. Very, very rare.
Yeah. But the fact that you get that, it's like, that's really something special. And I'm sure Reed feels the same way, that like he got to be a part of that with you, you know?
Yo, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, our families know, like, we're both like psychotically obsessed with wrestling too, you know? So I think it's cool for everybody that like watched it after the fact. They're like, oh my God, that's so neat, you guys got to do this together. Yeah, it's special. Like, there's really, again, I'm hard pressed to find ways to truly verbalize it in a way that I could like get my feelings and emotions about that out. But yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, I want to ask, I mean, because I mean, you predominantly wrestle in Alberta, but you know, you have mentioned that you've wrestled, you know, Saskatchewan, I think it was. The one thing I've noticed about the Alberta fans is they're a very passionate bunch, you know, especially especially for the people they see up coming through the ranks. I mean, you see it especially with Clandestine, you know, they do the Clandestine shows on the Thursdays, LPW the Fridays. A great opportunity for younger wrestlers to get experience. I was wondering what it was like for that first time venturing outside of the province for you, because I mean, different dynamic. You're a
Mhm.
little ways away from home. So how is
Yeah.
Jaxx feeling that first time?
Uh, it was kind of nerve-wracking because I think that first venture out was my 10th match only.
Okay.
So I'm like not even really like super super confident, super in that like good place in my head yet. And yeah, the first time in Saskatchewan, it was really nerve-wracking because it was, another diehard place of like wrestling, and like they are very supportive of the people that they love and the people that they are super into. And then here comes me, and it was like, man, I gotta like show them everything in like one condensed match, and that's so hard to like get your head around sometimes too. But I love wrestling in Saskatchewan now. It is like one of my places I look forward to getting bookings because they are so die hard.
What was the promotion that you worked for there?
So the first one was PPW.
Okay.
And then now I've been able to work with BEW.
Oh yeah.
Um, and I don't know if there's like any other cool promotions up there, but like I would love to just like get out there and do as many like Saskatchewan promotions as I can, because yeah, it's like such a neat crowd and place, and people are so passionate, and I love just finding those passionate crowds, because those are the best matches you can have with people who are so into it.
Remind me, we'll talk afterwards, and
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
But shout out to PPW. They do some great stuff there. I mean, I know, Bobby Munson and the boys down there do a great job with everything there. So huge shout out to them. So I mean, like, it's it's nice to see, like, there's so many people doing great stuff.
Yeah.
Whether it's the technical side of wrestling, the actual wrestling, that I love when like people come together and can put together a really cool thing.
Yeah, it's so neat.
Now I want to ask, because I mean, a few months ago, LPW puts on the show at Nate, which was a
Yes.
very big deal. And I want to ask you, because I mean, you're someone who was going to those early PWA shows,
Mhm.
and then you get the chance to wrestle, in that venue, which I mean has a lot of Alberta wrestling history. So what was that
Massively.
like for you?
It was like just again so mind-blowing. I remember being in those front rows when they put on their show with Jeff Cobb and Jay Lethal came through for that one. I remember that so vividly. And when I was like setting up the seats and helping the setup, I all kind of just like hit me at once. I'm like, holy shit, like this is gonna be what I dreamt of in this like very building I'm doing now. And it's, it all clicks at once, and you get like kind of emotional. You're like, wow, this is something, I dream of doing. And like, I do put my mind in that mindset of like, yeah, I'm going to do this, but like, you never know, really.
Yeah.
You never know if you do get the chance to do it. And so like, I think like being able to appreciate I'm here now doing it in the same building I watched some of the biggest shows at, it's like meaningful again in that way, that I'm very honored and I'm very lucky that I am doing what I'm doing at the level that I'm doing with the people that I'm doing it with. That I get the chance to be at Nate and wrestle in this building. And yeah, it was so cool to be able to do that for myself. And I'm sure like all the other PWA guys who used to run Nate all the time, like I can't even imagine how cool that was for them to be back again too, so
Sure.
just super, super awesome.
So, I mean, we've talked about how, you finished your first full year.
Mm.
So how do you, start off your second year and even like continue to push past what you've achieved in the first year? Because,
Well,
it's easy just to like, kind of just go with the flow, but do you have like set goals for you? Is there stuff that you're hoping that year 2 that you're like, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, so it's already in motion. I'm headed to the UK in November to do some training down there and get like some different new perspectives, different connections that I can make. So I'm really excited for that on the horizon. Another big one is, level up my physique, level up my training, level up everything that comes with that. And, I've already put that in motion, but like that's going to be something I'm excited to keep track of and keep looking at and see how far I like progress in that way. And honestly, I really want to get all over Canada this year, especially. I want to hit places like Winnipeg. I want to hit places like Ontario. I want to hit BC. I want to hit it all, right? I want to be able to at least wrestle. I don't know if every province has a promotion. I'm sure they do. So I think one cool thing would be like wrestle in every province, I think that'd be really neat. But those are like my main goals. And then those personal goals that I have in my mindset is, hopefully this year, win a championship. I think that's like something I'm definitely going to put my mind to and put my body on the line for, is to hopefully get a taste of gold this year. So that's what we're looking forward to.
I like that. I think, what I have so much respect for is, people who are willing to bet on themselves, to take the chance and go train in another country. Like even if it's, like I was talking to Riley Cruz last month. From Saskatchewan, was going down to the States to train at Booker T school,
yes.
Willing to bet on himself. And I've talked to other people who are like, yeah, I'm going to England for 2 months, or I'm going to Japan. And I have so much respect for that, because you're willing to put yourself out there. So like huge props to you. I think that is incredible.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah. Someone like Riley, who I have a lot of respect for too. He's at a crazy level, from the stuff that I've seen on the shows that I've been on him with. Like he's got something. He's got it. He definitely has it. And yeah, I think it's a cool thing to bet on yourself and go find these places that you maybe normally wouldn't have thought of, and I think getting those different perspectives, different methods, different styles, you can only better yourself.
Yeah. So I mean, we talked about the Nate shows a little bit, but I always ask for matches that really stand out to you that you've been a part of. Like whether it's matches or moments, if you have a couple, what stands out to you?
Man, me and Reed obviously definitely stand out to me, being my first one, being the special one in my heart. But once I got comfortable, once I've gotten, into the swing of things, one match that is pretty recent but stands out to me is me and Marza Specialists against the Mad Lads, William Taylor and Nasty Nate Nixon. I am so proud of that match. Again, that was one that I'm just over the moon about. Everything went so awesomely. Mars and me were at like just a 10 at that entire match. And, as much as I absolutely despise and hate the Mad Lads, there is something special when we get in the ring. I find sometimes it's magic. I don't know what it is, but got to get a win over them.
I mean, I bust their balls a lot, but like they are two very talented,
very talented,
yes,
very, very, very talented individuals. I'll give them that credit, and that's about as far as that credit goes. But yeah, they're very talented.
Now I always ask for a match recommendation, and it can be any promotions, any wrestlers, any streaming service. So one that you are a fan of that you think the listener should go check out.
Gosh, there is a Rolodex of those, but I think one that really, really does stand out to me is, yeah, I'm confirming in my head if this is the one I want to say, and I think it is the one I want to say. It's a pretty basic pick, but I don't care about basic or non-basic. Wrestling is wrestling. Love wrestling. Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Wrestle Kingdom, I think is just out of this world. You know, with how technically sound they are, how fast they move, how smooth they are, the story, the emotion that they give in that match. You hit every beat in that match that like I would want to see as a fan. And how I would want to see a story like have its crescendo and culmination.
Yeah.
I think top to bottom, that is a match that anybody who likes wrestling, who wants to get into wrestling, who is a wrestler, should check out at least once in their life. You know, that was recommended to me during training, and I never really watched much New Japan, watched much else. I know of it. I've seen things of it.
Yeah.
And now I'm a complete mark for New Japan. Yeah, it's something I think it's so worth your time. So beyond worth your time.
Like I find nowadays, like I can watch a match. Like, okay, like full disclosure, we're recording this Saturday before an AEW pay-per-view. I know I'm going to watch that, and there's going to be 4 matches that I'm absolutely going to love.
Oh yeah.
But I think what I've grown to even more is when you're watching a match and like it makes you feel like emotions inside.
Yes.
Like
yes.
I like last year watching Bandito and Takesha at the Ring of Honor show, and like I'm watching it and like I can feel like the emotions like that's what I love now. Watching Maya World and Mercedes a month ago, you know, like same thing, 2 totally different matches and not even comparable, but the fact that they can make you feel emotions, that's what I love about wrestling right now.
Yeah, like and like that's the matches I'm drawn to is like, can you make me feel? And how hard can you make me feel? And I think those are like far and beyond. Like you can, and that's honestly, for, at least for myself, that is like, it's never a knock against my enjoyment for just straight technical wrestling. Cause like, man, I can like, give me that, inject that into my veins. But like, yeah, if you can genuinely like make me like start, oh, is he going to actually do it? Is he going to do it? Like that is far and beyond some of the most fun and entertaining wrestling matches that you can watch.
Definitely. Okay, so what thing I've started doing here is asking 5 random questions. There's no rhyme or reason to these, but I try to make them not wrestling related because hey, we all have things outside of wrestling. So
for sure.
All right, what was the first movie you ever saw in theaters?
Oh geez. From what I can remember, like I probably have seen older ones, but like my first memory starts at Cars. That is the one I remember, and I still love that movie.
Yeah,
but
ka-chow.
God, can't beat it.
If you had the option between these two, which are you going to take? The power of invisibility or the power of teleportation?
Power of teleportation would be so convenient. Not having to like drive, fly anywhere. Oh my God. Yes, please sign me up. That is without a shadow of a doubt.
If you're going to Dairy Queen, what kind of blizzard are you getting?
I just got this new, and I've gotten it a lot, unfortunately. I need to control myself. It's this Mexican hot chocolate blizzard that they just started doing. Yeah. Oh my God, it's like crack. It's so good. I love it so much.
I have a bad habit of like, sometimes, Friday night, I might have a craving, but like I can't justify door dashing 1 blizzard, but I can door dash 2 blizzards and put one in the freezer for a few days later. So
100%.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
What was the last book you read?
So I've just been rereading the Maze Runner series. So I just finished the Scorch Trials. It's one of my favorite series of all time. I love the Maze Runner.
Nice.
Yeah, it's great.
And the question that everybody wants to know an answer to.
Okay.
What Muppet would you have dinner with?
Oh shoot. Dr. Teeth.
Wow.
It's got to be Dr. Teeth.
Off the board. All right.
I love I love everything that like from the how he looks and like the voice that they give Dr. T. It's got to be him, 100%.
Upcoming shows. Where can the people see you? What do you have on the docket for Jaxx Wylder?
So, we got July 30th, Thursday, Clandestine Wrestling Society, XLPW. We got Pandemonium coming up. It's going to be myself, Mars the Specialist, and one of our new students, which I'm very excited for, against the Clandestine Society in a 6-man tag. So excited to get another crack at besting Michael, I'm hoping. And then LPW 50 on July 31st. I'm in that scramble match with the champion Stephen Crow, Taryn from accounting, those damn Mad Lads, and myself. So as much as I do want to win that scramble championship, I want to hurt and maim the Mad Lads even more. So we will see how that goes. And then after that, from August 1st to 3rd, I'm on a tour with Best Entertainment Wrestling up in Saskatchewan.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll be up there for 3 days. So if you're in those areas, please come catch us. Very fun. And that is what we've got on the board for now.
Nice. And if people want to follow you on social media or know upcoming shows, because I know you post that, where can they find you?
So you can find me most actively on Instagram at Jaxx Wylder. However, I'm also trying to be more active on X, also at Jaxx Wylder. Those are my 2 places you can find me most active, and with all my updates for my matches, what I've got going on in my life. So yeah, definitely make sure to check me out there.
Jaxx, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Yes, absolutely. I love getting the chance to talk with you, and this is awesome.
Hell yeah. Thanks to Jackson. Thank you for checking out the podcast. I say it every time. I always say it. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me talk wrestling. If it's your first time listening or watching, you can find me up on all social media, Grainmaker Wrestling Podcast, up on all podcast streaming platforms, and up on YouTube, where if you're watching, you already know that because you're watching us right now. So thanks so much for checking out the podcast. We'll talk soon. Grainmaker.